Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another Core Racing League season race here tonight. We are at the Canadian Tire in the GTE cars, as this track will play host for the Premier Series. We do a little bit things different around over here in the Core Racing League. We go back and forth between different cars and tracks every single week, so you'll never see the same car out on track twice in one single season, but just get a little bit of a track prep for you. 2.43 miles is how big this track is. 108-degree track temp. So it's definitely going to be a little bit spicy here tonight. I've been watching these guys in practice. They've been getting into the corners just a little bit and ended up having it go off the track. As you see there, somebody just went off track, able to keep it straight. But without further ado, going to go ahead and show you guys exactly what the track map. As you see, there's going to be cars everywhere. It's definitely going to be a bit of a difference on here tonight. They got two races here tonight. They have a heat race, which is pretty much a 15-minute sprint race to set the qualifying order. And then after the 15-minute sprint, you're going to have a 45-minute endurance race, and that's where everybody's going to be together again. And where they finish in the heat race, I believe, is where they're going to finish start for the feature. As we're taking a look at Kevin Foster, now looking at Christopher Hamilton in that beautiful Vet Motorsports number 64 Corvette. And looks like Carl Handwerk just put it into the wall there. Hey, Carl, just let you know, you're not supposed to do that. Uh, Cars belong on asphalt, not on grass, as they should say. This is another road course. So another good thing about the Premier Series is, they split it up to where you have some road courses, you got some ovals, you got dirt ovals, and you got dirt road. So you're definitely going to see a lot of different stuff here tonight. You're going to see a lot of stuff. I mean, next week we do have a double header, so that's definitely going to be fun to have. And tonight's we're going to have our in-race reporter. That'll be the number 64 of... No, I'm thinking maybe Jimmy Covert. Jimmy Covert will be our in-race reporter here tonight. Just before we get done with qualifying, we're going to go ahead and bring him on in here. Let us know what the tire strategy is going to be and see how long they can make it on a tank of fuel. They do run half tank, so that's definitely going to be something else to watch out for. I'm not sure if they can make a whole 15-minute race last on one tank of gas. As you know, this track is 2.43 miles long, so yeah, you're braking, turning, this and that. You're off the gas more than what you really think, but it can still turn around and bite you in the rear if you're not too careful. As we're actually going to take a little bit of a ride along here with the number 14 of Jimmy Cover. We're going to go ahead and jump on the inboard and just give you just a little bit of a taste of how he is getting around this track. So you see there up to fourth gear. I'm not exactly sure how to run this track. I'm not a good road course racer, not really too fond of it, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. As we get ready to go into, it looks like White's corner here. Jimmy Covert hugging those curbs, so that might be the good way to go. Into the last corner, he's going to take it wide, hit the curb, perfect, good exit all the way off, and that's going to start his first official lap here as he's going into turn number one, nice and easy off the throttle. That's going to put him P number 4, so he's got one more lap and going down the hill, going to keep it to the left hand side, going to bounce out to those curbs, drop it back in. Excuse me. As he's going to come back out, going to jump up to fourth and fifth gear, possibly just before another good braking zone here. He's going to put it in fifth, drop it all the way down to second, and this is a tight hairpin here. Double apex right-hander. go out over the curbs, come back in, and hope to keep it straight, and that he does. Going to go back up to P or fourth gear, fifth gear, and possibly hit sixth by the end of this long straight. I guess you could call this Thunder Valley if it was a Thunder Valley circuit. He's going to drop it back down to fifth, maybe even fourth. There it is. He's going to hug those curbs just like how he really wants to do. And he's able to keep it going. Nice and fluid laps here. Going to see if that improves his time at all, if any. And Jimmy Covert jumps back up to P number 5. So Jimmy Covert is P number 5. He's going to go ahead and get it slowed down, get it off the track, and start his way all the way back in P number 5. So while Jimmy Covert ended up getting that done, we're going to go ahead and move him up here to the broadcast booth. And Jimmy, this is Dylan in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy.
All right. Well, tonight I decided to make another fellow CRN broadcaster the in-race reporter. So hopefully there's no CRN bad luck here. But kind of give us a little bit of a rundown on how these tires are going to affect this 15-minute stint. Do you think you could possibly make it on no stops at all, or are you guys going to have to make a stop within the 8 to 9 minute mark?
No, we're gonna be totally fine on the 15-minute. Now the second feature race will be a little bit different story, and depending on how you're looking, should get a good idea what your tires are like after this first run. But if you really didn't do any practice this week, you're really not gonna know. So I'm not gonna give those hints away, but there is a strategy out there.
Well, if anybody knows strategy, it is you. So, I mean, road courses are kind of your thing. I see you doing all different kinds of road courses during the weekend with Alex Gangler and um, Derek Sherman. So, road courses are more your strong suit than oval or anything else. So, hopefully, tonight you can get a pretty good show in, and hopefully, in this little 15-minute heat race, you can set yourself up for a good qualify or good feature position.
Yeah, I mean these guys are fast up front. I mean Aaron and Carl, and Chris are always strong competitors. I know Alex is new to season, but also another strong competitor. John, I see he's got a good time there, so hopefully he can hold his car together and keep it on the track. Kevin, not too far behind me. Thad's always a threat. So a lot of good guys out here, and I hope that everybody has a great race and we can stay off each other.
Oh yeah, for sure, and that's definitely going to be something that you really got to work forward to and be patient as well. Because I mean, 15 minutes can go either one way or the other. It's either going to be really good or it's going to be really bad. So now, while you guys are out there on this track, I get to sit back and laugh while you and Carl got to laugh at me trying to get around Homestead last Thursday. So I'm definitely in the right spot. I don't know about all the other people, but all in all, hopefully you get the best of luck out there, and hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end of the 15-minute and the 45-minute endurance.
Well, we'll definitely try our best to put on a good show and hopefully see you in the booth.
All right, buddy. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and move you back up there with PB, and we'll talk to you later.
Later, man.
All right, that was Jimmy Cover. He's going to be our in-race reporter. So 7 minutes down, 3 minutes left to go in the qualifying session. I did have a guest with me. He's still trying to get his technical difficulties figured out here, which that would be Derek Booker. He is a fellow racer in the Core Racing League. He actually did the IndyCar series on Wednesday nights, and it's good to see him wanting to hop up in the booth with myself. So that way I'm not talking too much to where my throat hurts for tomorrow night, as Monday night we got GT3s and GT4s back out there on another road course. So that's definitely going to be something fun. That's going to have me, Carl, and Jimmy all in the booth at the same time. We're going to give you a different spec of it. Instead of us being up in the booth calling the action, we're going to be down on track racing with these guys. And, with Carl and Jimmy both out there on the track right now, these guys are pretty good. They know what they're doing. I mean, with Carl and Jimmy stepping off of the racetrack on Thursday nights and calling the action, the competition is still stiff out there on Thursday nights. So if you haven't already, make sure you like, share, give this broadcast a thumbs up. Doesn't cost you a single dime, no penny, nothing. It's all completely free. Make sure you share it with your friends, family, get those guys in here. And if you're even interested in running in the Core Racing League, make sure you have the iRacing. Make sure you guys have iRacing service and just find us on the internet at www.courtracingleague.com. Hit apply now. Join the Discord. We can get you set up in any series that you want. We have a lot of racing going on all throughout the week, except for Friday and Saturdays. That's when we just take our time just to relax. And then we're right back at it Sunday with the Premier Series like we are here tonight. But Mondays, we got GT3, GT4 Road. On Tuesdays, we have the ARCA series coming back. Well, actually, not coming back. We're going to start up an ARCA series on Tuesday nights. That's going to have me and Ricky Gonzalez in the booth. Can't wait to see that man in the booth with me. And then Wednesday nights, you'll have Carl and Jimmy in the booth while I tackle Dover in the ECRC 87 League. There's two more races left, and I'm so close to the championship spot, but there's one guy in front of me that is holding it down up there. That is the number 7 of Sean Langton. So that's going to be a good show to watch on Wednesday night. And then immediately following after the ECRC race, I'll be back in the booth calling the action for the IndyCar Series as they get ready to tackle another 160 laps at Iowa. Not a doubleheader. Not a doubleheader. Just one race. And then Thursday night, I'll be back in the car in the 87s as we get ready to tackle my home track, my favorite track in the 87s, other than Charlotte and Bristol. But we're tackling Indianapolis Motor Speedway as I try to go for 2 and Chris Hamilton tries to knock me off and go back for another championship. And then that'll do it for the rest of the for 2 days. But so far, it looks like everybody is starting to grid up here. We're going to go ahead and take a look at Aaron Smith here. And I did not get any cameras set up. I was actually watching the football game and almost lost track of time. So, gotta be out there watching my Chicago Bears play against the Green Bay Packers so far. Not looking too bad, but not looking too great. So definitely going to have to see what they can do. And Barry Kistler out there in chat saying, let's have a great race tonight. Good luck, drivers. Barry, offer still stands. If you want to get in Discord, buddy, I will pull you up right now. You can hop in the booth with me, and we can just have fun. You know, it would be amazing to have you in the booth. You're always there for the Core Racing League in general, so definitely want to see you out here with us. And hopefully we get to talk to you in the booth no matter when it does happen. But as of right now, we're getting ready to go green here as we're getting ready to start running up the field here. They're going to get out there. And another thing about that pace car, you know, it is the Porsche, but that thing is quick. Like, to be honest, like, I've had some sessions where the Porsche was the pace car before, and it just obliterated the field. So definitely got to make sure that you're at a track that uses the Porsche on a regular basis, not on like an oval or anything like that. So definitely going to see a lot of different strategies here. Aaron Smith on pole. Carl Handwerk, after having that little bit of oopsie daisy moment in qualifying, starts P number 2. Alex Carver in or Chris Hamilton in third, Alex Carver in fourth, Jimmy Covert in fifth, John Obinger in sixth, Thaddeus Marshall making his return in seventh, Kevin Foster in eighth, Caleb Collins in ninth, Dane Simpson in 10th, Derek Sherman in 11th, Abhi Vishwasam in 12th, Paul Butler in 13th, Patrick Cooney in 14th, Tim Thompson in 15th, Todd Cottle making his second start here in the Premier Series in 16th. Brandon Mettler, another Indiana boy, in 16th or 17th, excuse me. John Crane and Jimmy Inslee rounding out your 19-car field. So, like I said, you know, this is a 15-minute endurance race, and this is going to set the lineup for the feature. So you're definitely going to see exactly what these guys can do. You know, yeah, they get almost an hour of practice, but they're not grouped up like how they normally are. So now we're definitely going to see what they can do with a lot of people around them as we're watching John Nobinger and that player, John Player Special Porsche, as he's starting P number 6. So we're definitely going to see how turn 1 is going to be, who's going to be aggressive, but who's going to want to just hang in the back and just try to live. And I think the best way that we can do that is just go on to John Crane and go to the far chase cam here and just see exactly what he would see as we're getting ready to go into turn number 1 here. And the pace light is off, and we are green, green, green as this 15-minute race is underway. So far, everybody clean, but look how much room everybody has given, pretty much everybody going up in and through this section here. Carl Handwerk is off track. Not sure exactly what happened there, but 2 cars off track. Going to go ahead and go back to a quick replay here. John Obinger going off track, and I don't know who that white Ford GT was. It looks like Kevin Foster. Kevin Foster going back out on track there. We're going to go ahead and jump back on board here. Going to change the camera as Abhi Vishwasam goes on the inside. Going to be not able to make that pass on that Porsche as of yet. But so far, everybody keeping it clean and green as now they're all single file. Not going to make a move just yet. It's still early in the race. There's still a lot of time that can be made up. And definitely going to see what these guys can do here as Aaron Smith still leading this whole entire field. And with Aaron and his graphics card, he can't really see a lot of stuff, but they are too wide. As Carl Handwer gets loose, almost hits the wall, gets a little bit of a damage there. Too wide with Chris Hamilton, able just letting him have that spot. Got a little bit of a right front crinkle on that number 18 Ferrari as he's going to take it off track there as well. So not a good start to that 15-minute sprint for Carl Handwerk. And I'm not sure if they're doing the if I have to tow, call a caution or not. Because as you see, Alex Carver went off track and is stopped. Not sure exactly what happened to him as Kevin Foster is in pit lane. But Alex Carver is stopped. Not sure exactly what happened to the number 079 here. As we got another car off track. And that would be Chris Hamilton. Not sure exactly what happened to him. Going to go ahead and jump back here. Going to see what happened to the number 64 car. He goes off track. Going to keep it off the wall. Locks up that right front. Able to just get it back on without getting hit. So good driving by everybody getting around the number 64 machine as he has lost a little bit of spots here. And Jimmy Covert from 5th to P number 2 up here in that Ford GT orange machine. And now he's going to try to track down that number 70 of Aaron Smith. And it looks like Thaddeus Marshall is P number 3 in that Corvette. So you're definitely going to see what these guys can do. See if they have anything for that number 70 machine. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I heard Derek Booker get ready to get on the intercom. So, Derek, I don't know if you can hear me or maybe you can talk, but I think you got your microphone situation figured out.
Is this thing on?
Yes, sir. I can hear you now. There it is, loud and clear. As we got you back in the booth. Well, actually, this is the first time you ever been in the booth with me, so kind of glad because now I can kind of take a little bit of a rest when I need to. And it's definitely going to be fun. We got a 15-minute heat race / sprint for these guys, then a 45-minute endurance race right after. So there's still a lot of racing to be left.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's GT. I'm sorry. I'm brain farting on my train of thought. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine, buddy. Broadcasting is just, a little different than being out there on track. We see you out there every Wednesday night in the Indy cars putting down some quick laps as Jimmy Cover almost went off track there. And but yeah, we've seen what you can do in the Indy cars. They're a little bit different. I'm not a fan of him, but a lot of people are, so we brought that series back for season number 2. And it looks like Brandon Met. We have a big wreck on track. Somebody, John Nobinger, is flipped over. Going to see if we can find that on the SDK here. Going to go back and watch it here live as John Nobinger is under attack from the Gorilla Glue car. John Nobinger, same spot, goes off track and doesn't get it slowed down. Gets a little bit of a spicy lift off there. Goes upside down and is stuck. So definitely going to see what race control does here. And they don't throw a caution. So no caution for the flip by the number 44. And we had a little bit of a lift off there as John Obinger ended up on his lid. So definitely going to want to keep the rubber side down and the shiny side up. Riding along with Brandon Metler here. Somebody else has went off track. You've seen all the smoke. He comes back on. Brandon Metler is going to go ahead and get around the lapped car of number 25. That'll be Todd Cottle. I brought him in to take my spot in the Premier Series so I could hop up in the booth since CRN is the only trustworthy broadcasting network. As it looks like another person has just went off. Look like Jimmy Ensley goes off track, or maybe that was Paul Butler. We're going to go ahead and look and see what happened to Paul Butler here as we, okay, Paul Butler. I'm going to go ahead and go back to a replay here. He gets stuck in the wall. You hate to see it as Paul Butler had to tow. We're going to keep it green, though. Going to go ahead and jump back up top to our race leader here of Aaron Smith. And it's definitely going to be a tough task to catch up to this man as he's pretty much almost pulled away. But Jimmy Covert, Thaddeus Marshall, and Carl Handwerk have sort of brought him back to their liking as anybody who does race or watches the CRN broadcasts knows Aaron Smith is that guy. He is fast and quick in anything you put him in. I've ran with him in different leagues. I've ran with him over here. And it doesn't matter what he's in. The dude just consistent and fast as Thaddeus Marshall makes a pass on Jimmy Covert there for P number 2. Now Carl Handwerk looking to get around the fellow CRN broadcaster of Jimmy Covert. But Chris Hamilton is back up with this 4-car pack after going off the track, ended up coming back, and we got a pretty much a little 5-car breakaway. Derek Sherman's trying to get up to him in that Porsche GTE car, not able to get the good run or tow, but look at that. Carl Handwerk went to the inside, going to give him a little bit of a dummy look, and not able to make the pass on the number 14 of Jimmy Covert. But it still looks like Thaddeus Marshall is leading this 4-car pack. And he's kind of pulling away from Jimmy Covert. There he goes. Carl Handwerk to the inside going into turn number 1. Not able to make the pass. Going to let Jimmy get the spot back. Able to keep it on track as well. And Chris Hamilton to the left side of Carl Handwerk. He's going to push him wide as looks like Chris Hamilton was able to make the pass on Carl Handwerk, but not just yet. They're still battling. Carl Handwerk holding his own. The last time these two got side by side, Carl Handwerk got a little bit loose, ended up tagging the inside wall, and it looks like Carl's got a little bit more damage on that left side. So not sure exactly what happened. Maybe he got a little bit loose, collected in another series of unfortunate events. But so far it is Aaron Smith out front, Thaddeus Marshall in P number 2, Jimmy Covert in 3rd, Chris Hamilton and Carl Handwerk still doing battle here. We got Ford versus Ferrari almost, but it is a Chevy versus Ferrari as Chris Hamilton in that Vet Motorsports Chevy CR8 is going to be able, or C8, excuse me, gets around Carl Handwerk. Carl Handwerk's going to dive it to his inside, not going to be able to make the pass, almost collects or gets into the side of Chris Hamilton. Chris Hamilton's going to make the pass, get clear of Carl Handwerk. And Carl Handwerk sitting P number 4, but is kind of content running P number 4. I mean, there is a big of a gap between these 4 guys to 5th place, but you don't want to have Aaron Smith get out to that big horrendous lead like he was earlier in the beginning of this run, as Carl Haydenwork's not able to get it down to the inside. They're going to take it run high. Going to go ahead and jump back through here, get a look at Patrick Cooney as he is right in front of Kevin Foster. Brandon Mettler right behind Dane Simpson there. As it looked like Brandon Mettler went off track, or was it John Crane? Somebody went off track there. Not sure exactly. We're going to go ahead. Oh, it's Caleb Collins? Yeah, Caleb Collins in that C8 Corvette. Going to see what happened here. Does he hit too much of the curb? Does he get loose? No, he just gets in the grass, goes a little bit wide, does a little bit of a Tokyo Drift. Insert the Tokyo Drift theme song. Able to keep it off the wall, though. And keep it out of everybody. Never mind, I spoke too soon. There is a space shuttle somewhere out there in, with Caleb being from Texas, it's only fair to say, NASA makes some pretty good space shuttles. As Caleb Collins ended up losing his front bumper there. He's going to end up taking it down into pit road. If he did not tow, which it looks like he did not, he's going to take it into pit road. Use that fast repair. You got 2 tonight. You got 1 in the heat race or the 15-minute sprint, and then you got another one in the 45-minute endurance race. And so far, I mean, you've seen a lot of people go in there, take that 15-minute sprint, use a fast repair when you need it. But with that 45-minute race coming up, you definitely want to bide your time. It is a longer race. You got more time to pick and choose your battles, as Thaddeus Marshall is under a microscope right now from Jimmy Covert and Chris Hamilton. Jimmy Covert now battling with the number 87 of Thaddeus Marshall. Chris Hamilton making his way back up to P number 4. That's dropping the 18 down to P number 5. Jimmy Covert trying to do what he can to get around the number 87. He knows the 64 is quick. He wants to hurry up, get around the number 87 and trap Chris Hamilton behind him. Not able to do so just yet. And we are coming up on 4 minutes left in this race, as these guys are battling pretty hard here. Not sure what to expect come the 45-minute endurance race, as you see there, Jimmy getting into that hard braking zone, double right apex right-hander, able to get the drive off, pull away from Chris Hamilton, but not by much, as Thaddeus Marshall still leading these guys all the way down the long dog leg kink into turn number 7, it looks like. Aaron Smith out to a 4.8 second lead, and these 3 guys are kind of leaving Carl Haydenwork in the dust.
Oh yeah, I'd say Aaron Smith pretty much checked out at this point.
Oh yeah, he doesn't race the Indy cars, and I really wish he did, because the dude is just got talent everywhere. It doesn't matter if it's dirt road, oval, road. The dude is quick. We call him Papyrus because, you'll see blocks whenever he posts a picture. It's not an actual car. It's just a block with block wheels, and somehow he gets those block wheels to turn into cylinders and able to pull away from the field. So definitely good to see the yellow banana Ford GT out there up front. And then you got Thaddeus Marshall in P number 2, Jimmy Covert in 3rd, Chris Hamilton in 4th, Carl Haydenwork in 5th. Abhi Vishwasam, never really talk about him. He is running P number 6, Patrick Cooney in 7th, Dane Simpson in 8th, Brandon Mettler in 9th, John Crane in 10th, Jimmy Inslee in 11th, Tim Thompson 12th, Derek Sherman in 13th, Todd Cottle 1 lap down in 14th, Alex Carver Robbins in 15th, Paul Pit Penalty Butler in 16th, Caleb Eeyore Collins in 17th, Kevin Hollywood Foster in 18th, and John Nobinger. Well, actually, John Space Shuttle Nobinger rounding out your 19-car field. So, as you can see on the track map up there in the top right corner, there's cars everywhere. Aaron Smith has opened up a 5.5 second gap over second place. So now the battle is between these top 3 cars, who's going to get the front row starting position with Aaron Smith? Is it going to be Jimmy Covert, or is it going to be Chris Hamilton, or is it going to be Thaddeus Marshall? But now we had a big battle there. Chris Hamilton trying to get something along the outside of the number 14, not able to make the pass. Going to drop down and get back in line on Jimmy Covert. Now he's going to use that toe to possibly get up there, and not looking pretty good for Jimmy Covert and company, as Thaddeus Marshall, the more that these guys battle, Thaddeus Marshall is able to pull out a little bit of a gap, as these guys are still trying to catch the number 70 of Aaron Smith. And this will be the final lap, as Aaron Smith has pulled out to a 6.3 second gap. They are over the 15-minute mark, but I believe this should be the final lap, if I'm not mistaken, as these guys look at Chris Hamilton. Chris Hamilton's going to get a good run, going to dive into the inside of Jimmy Covert, not able to make the pass. Thought better of it, didn't want to take each other out. Sacrifice a second and third place finish. But so far, Jimmy Covert holding off Chris Hamilton. Chris Hamilton's trying to do whatever he can, but look at that. Carl Handwerk coming back from the back, able to catch Chris Hamilton. Chris Hamilton's going to get a little bit loose coming out of that double right apex hand. Double right hander. And that's going to open up the door for Carl Handwerk. You can see Carl is trying to get his wits about him, as these guys are really playing tough defense here, as looks like Jimmy Covert gets a little bit loose coming out of that corner as well. But look at Carl Handwerk. He's going to come up off the last turn. Not going to be able to get around Jimmy Covert or Chris Hamilton. And that's going to do it for this 15-minute sprint. We're going to go ahead and bring in Mr. Let's see, Papyrus. Where is he at? There he is. All right, Aaron Smith. You got the first stint done. Now it comes to the 45-minute endurance race. We just seen you win by over 7 seconds. Was that you just trying to be calm, patient, cool, collected, or were you just trying to get as much of a lead out as you possibly could to see what else you could do later in this race?
Yeah, I just wanted to see what the tires would do over the course of the long run. Unfortunately, I went and followed a lap car up the track and lost my 7-second lead I had earlier in the race, and ended up having to open that back up. But I learned a lot, and hopefully I'll be able to put use to that in this part of the race.
Well, now it comes to this: if pit stops come into play, are you going to try to double stint tires, or are you going to take tires the one time you have to pit?
It'll depend on where I'm at. I think I'm only going to stop once, so I'll see where the tires are at that point, see where the times are, and then work from there. I'm banking on just having the tires go the whole way through, but I don't know yet.
Well, could you give us a little bit of an insight on what the tires were after that 15-minute stint?
They weren't too warm. The lefts were only about 200, 205 degrees, and then the rights were only about 186. So if that carries on to this portion of the event, it should be a pretty decent run.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and send you back up there with everybody, and hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end of the 45-minute endurance.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right. That was our 15-minute sprint winner of Aaron Smith. Going to go ahead and bring up the Heat 1, maybe? Yeah, here we go. Heat 1 results. So pretty much as followed. Aaron Smith's going to be P number 1. Thaddeus Marshall second. Jimothy Covert in third. Chris Hamilton in fourth. Carl Headlight Handwerk. I haven't seen any headlights going off on that number 18 machine. Abhi Vishuvasam. Hopefully he doesn't get a scratchy leg. In seventh is Patrick Cooney. Eighth is Dane Simpson. Ninth, Brandon Metler. John Crane in P number 10. Jimmy Inslee in 11th. Tim Thompson in 12th. Derek Sherman in 13th. Todd Cottle in 14th. Alex Carver in 15th. Paul Butler in 16th. Caleb Collins in 17th. Kevin Foster in 18th. And rounding out your 19... Well, there was 19 people. Now yes, there is 19 people. Not sure exactly why it wasn't showing the 19th person, but without further ado, these guys got to go all the way back around the track following this pace car. And if you were anybody in this race, you don't really want to see Aaron Smith up there in the front. You kind of want to get around him and try to open up that 7-second lead. But Derek, I got to ask you, if you were in this race right now and it came down to one stop, would you want to double stint your tires, or would you want to just say, screw it, you want those fresh tires, you can catch up to the field? Or do you want to try your luck and go out on piggy tires and just kind of be cautious going around? You already know your car's going to be full of fuel. It's going to drive completely different. So having those worn tires might be to your benefit. Or do fresh tires sound like a more reasonable plan?
Well, you see, the thing is with at least when I run GT3s here, I'm usually in the back, too busy 86ing myself. So I would probably just go with fresh tires.
Yeah, we did see that last Wednesday. I don't know how you did it. You managed to do it twice right in front of Joe Morant, and Joe Morant never made contact with you. That was some superb driving by you guys both, able to not hit each other or hit anything. No space shuttle came off of that number 86 machine, so definitely a good points night. Well, definitely a good night overall, other than, you looping it, getting a little bit too hard onto the brakes. But pace car, get ready to dive into pit road here. We're going to see what the number 70 of Aaron Smith can do with Thaddeus Marshall right there alongside of him. We're going to see what Thaddeus Marshall can do as well. As these guys aren't going to go green just yet, as they're going to let the field catch up. Not sure exactly if they had an invert or not, as they're all single file here. Definitely going to see what happens here, as it looks like John Nobinger, and they are doing an invert. Not sure exactly what the invert number was, but look at all those. There's a lot of cars going around this number 70 machine. So definitely going to see who does what here. And that's going to shake up. Now we're going to really see what Aaron Smith can do with with traffic in front of him. So definitely going to see what he can do, if he can navigate his way around all this traffic. As that whole 15-minute race that he did have, he was in the clean air, open air, able to maintain, but it looks like the top 4 got inverted. So that would be, Carl Handwerk, top 5 got inverted. So it would be Carl Handwerk, Chris Hamilton, Jimmy Covert, Aaron Smith, and Thaddeus Marshall got to start in the back for the feature race. That changes a lot of stuff now. I thought maybe Aaron Smith was going to have the pole for this, and oh boy, was I wrong. So they're going to do one pace lap. Carl Handwerk will end up coming over the mic, let them know, like, hey, this is when you can go with this is where you can go on green. He'll count it down for these guys, and then once you hear green, your balls to the wall, trying to get out and away from that number 70 of Aaron Smith. But you can see there, everybody double file. There's a lot more Porsches than there are anything else. I see a couple Ferraris, a couple Corvettes, but it seems like everybody wanted the Porsche tonight. Got to give a big shout out to Raze Energy for coming on board with us here in the Core Racing League. Got to give a big shout out to Joka Graphics and Joshua Billiter, as he's made most of these schemes out here for these lovely gentlemen as they get ready to do battle for 45 minutes at Canadian Tire. And we are green, green, green. John Obinger is going to take him into turn number 1. Oh, big checkup there. As that, not sure exactly what happened there, but Aaron Smith able to not hit it. And there's spinning in the back as Thaddeus Marshall gets off track there. So not a good way to start your 45-minute adventure, as we have a lot of problems up here, and you hate to see it. There's just so much going on the track, and I can't really get to all of it, but John Obinger's still out front. We're going to go ahead and drop down to Aaron Smith. See, oh, he was able to get around it. Alex Carver, big problems with that number 079 machine. Look at that rear end of that Porsche. And there is a caution out on track, so it looks like since Tim Thompson had to tow, they're going to throw the caution. But Alex Carver, his car is hurt. It is dog walking, and now he's got to limp that thing all the way to pit road. While we're on board with the number 079, we'll go ahead and go into the cockpit view and see how bad he's got to steer that car. You can see all the hand motions there. You hate to see it, as you know he's really got to fight that wheel just to keep it straight, but not something that you really want to see happen to you or anybody else just one lap into this, not even a full lap into this 45-minute heat endurance race.
Yeah, it looks like Caleb Collins ended up hitting getting into the grass on the outside. I don't know what turn this is. I've never raced Canadian Tire, but I guess he just ended up losing it, and Carver had nowhere to go.
Oh, tough break for Carver here. We're going to go ahead and go back to where he went, and yeah, so Caleb Collins, we're going to go ahead and rewind this here as SDK did not pick it up. So we're going to go ahead and rewind it, see exactly what happened as Caleb Collins goes off track. You see there, spins it. Carver's got nowhere to go. He's going to nose it into the wall. So a big, big nose drop on that number 079, able to get it into pit road there. But so far, it looks like John Obinger able to keep the lead with Kevin Foster in P number 2, Paul Butler in 3rd, Derek Sherman in 4th, Brandon Mettler in 5th, Dane Simpson in 6th, Carl Handwerk up to P number 7, Patrick Cooney in 8th, Jimmy Covert in 9th, Aaron Smith in 10th, Chris Hamilton in 11th, Todd Cottle in 12th, Abhi Vishwasam in 13th, Thaddeus Marshall in 14th, Jimmy Inslee in 15th, John Crane in 16th, Caleb Collins in 17th, 18th will be Alex Carver, and 19th will be Tim Thompson. And while we're sitting here and waiting, I know we had Mr. Jimmy Covert in here, but why not bring in the number 05 of Tim Thompson? Tim, this is Dylan and Derek in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
All right, Tim. Well, you hate to see it. You know, it happens. You still are, I believe you're still on pit road getting your damage repaired. So kind of walk us through what happened on that first lap. Was it just a bunch of chaos and you're just trying to fight your way through, or was it
chaos and cold tires?
Yeah.
I got on the outside. I should have lifted a little bit more, but I didn't. I didn't want to lose a spot there. It's an early in the race. I messed up.
Hey, yeah, I mean, it happens to the best of us no matter what. I mean, we race against each other on the track in the vintage or anywhere else that we run, so it's always fun to have you out there with us no matter what series it is. You're always having fun. You're always battling, it seems like, with Abhi Vishwasam. So Definitely want to
Yeah,
keep
we
definitely want to have you back out here on track. Give Abby a run for his money, and hopefully we get to see you run some more
we
laps after you get your damage fixed.
Albie and I usually have a pretty good decent run there, but you know, I had a good run in the here we go. I had a good run in the sprint, and I like I said, cold tires got me here, so we'll catch up and see what we can do.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I see that you're back out on track. We're gonna go ahead and move you back up there, and hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end of this thing.
Thanks for the kind words, Dylan. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Were you with Derek and Jimmy and all them, or were you with everybody else?
In the sprint race,
No, in the Discord.
yeah, I was in general.
Okay, 10-4. All right, that was the 05 of Tim Thompson there. Well, you heard it from him, Derek. He just wants to be out here having fun, and that's exactly what Tim Thompson does. He never really presses the issue. He knows when he's good at something, he puts his time in. He's kind of like Jeremy Lyon Watkins. He's a ghost, but he'll finish up there if you're not careful.
Oh yeah, well, my arrogance with Road America was, well, I did a bunch of officials, so I should be set, right?
Yeah, I've had that happen to me. It's like,
But then again, oh,
oh
my
yeah,
bad.
go ahead, buddy.
But in my defense, road courses are not my specialty. I personally prefer more ovals, as you guys probably saw with my battle with Sahaj last week at Kansas.
Oh yeah, me personally, I'm more of an oval guy. That's my bread and butter, especially in the 87s. Yeah, I will run the 87s as much as I possibly can at any oval track and do splendid. You put me on a road course, and it's like I lost all knowledge to drive. I mean, I love that the 87 series does one dirt and one road, but the amount of time of practice that I put into last week was a lot. I ran probably 6 hours worth of practice trying to get that track down and didn't do too bad. You know, Carl and Jimmy up there laughing at all of us down there on track, so now I get a little bit of a taste to laugh at these guys down here on track. But I mean, it's Canadian Tire. These cars are meant for Canadian Tire, so it's been pretty good racing all in all. And you see there, just before the camera switch, Carl Hedwerk of that Raise Energy Rep Sports Machine. I'm going to go ahead and look at his car here. And there's something on that car that I have not yet seen, and that's the Sucks to Suck logo. Core has a motto that is sucks to suck, and normally, if Carl Hedwerk has the Core Racing League car. Same with Brandon Mettler, or not Brandon Mettler, Derek Sherman. But it does not say sucks to suck. So this must be a car before the sucks to suck came about. But either way, still good to see these guys repping the Core name, as John Ominger is going to bring these guys to the green, as John Ominger gets on the gas pretty early, not even out of the corner yet, able to get around Paul Butler, and he's going to take it into turn number 1 here, going to keep it nice and straight, nice and fluent. Everybody's going to make it through. Oh, Thaddeus Marshall goes off track again, 2 for 2, as Thaddeus Marshall is not having a good feature race here, as SDK did not pick it up, so not going to be able to run back through it. As we look here,
Who was that?
Patrick Cooney ended up wrecking here. Going to take a look back here, see what happened. And you see that Patrick Cooney gets up into the grass just a little bit right in front of Aaron Smith. Aaron Smith able to squeak by. We're going to go ahead and rewind that and slow it down and watch from Aaron Smith's point of view here. And that was a pretty saucy move by Aaron Smith. As you see here, Patrick Cooney just gets on the gas just a little bit too much. Going to put the left sides into the grass. Aaron Smith sees he's getting loose. It looks like a big block on his screen, but on ours, we could actually see the actual cars. Aaron Smith able to get around him, not put his car in the grass, get loose or anything like that, but they're still green, as it looks like Aaron Smith back up here to P number 6. Chris Hamilton in P number 5, but Carl Handwerk dropped down. Not sure exactly what happened to Carl Handwerk there. Carl Handwerk went from 5th to looks like 15th. So definitely going to see what Carl Handwerk can do. He's behind the gun as of right now, but look at this hornet's nest we have right here. Aaron Smith right behind it all, as Jimmy Covert is battling with Chris Hamilton once again. These two just do not want to give up any room, as Chris Hamilton right on the outside door of Jimmy Covert, not able to make the pass complete, and he's going to have to get a good run on the number 14 machine to see if he can make the pass in a better braking zone, as it looks like we're going to look for a pass with the number 64 here, as whoop, oh, I'm sorry about that. Let me go ahead and open this DK again.
I don't even think the 70's got his afterburners on. I mean, he's, from what I'm observing, is that he's just biding his time.
Yeah, that is something with Aaron Smith. He knows when to kick in the NOS, and he knows when to just relax, as it looks like Chris Hamilton up to P number 3, able to get around Jimmy Covert and Alex Carver, but no, what's that? Yes, that is Brandon Met. No, that is Brandon Metler actually in front of Jimmy Covert here. And Aaron Smith's going to look to the inside of Jimmy Covert, not going to be able to make the pass. He's going to shut the door. And Brandon Metler is going to get past. Oh, hits the curbs just a little bit too much. Able to keep it straight, not going to move. Good avoidance by Aaron Smith there, not to get hit by Brandon Metler. That's going to slow Brandon Metler down just a little bit. That's going to give the move to Aaron Smith. And now Jimmy Covert's going to start working on the number 77 of Paul Butler. Paul Butler out there in P number 3. Chris Hamilton in P number 2. He's got a long way to go to catch up to the number. Oh, Jimmy Covert gets a little bit loose. Going to pass Paul Butler with ease. Same with Aaron Smith. Move Paul Butler down to P number 5 and move these guys up 2 more spots, as these guys are doing a good battle here, as it looks like Alex Carver is going to get around the number 77 of Paul Butler. So definitely going to see what these guys can do as Paul Butler goes off track just a little bit. And as we're going through this corner here, you're going to see who's really burning up their tires. It looks like Jimmy is running for his life right now. Excuse me. Aaron Smith on the outside of Jimmy Covert ended up backing out of it. Didn't want to take the spot just yet, as these guys are still doing good battle here. I'm going to see what these guys can do, as Jimmy Covert ended up losing it. And still back to P number 7, but not up where he wants to be. As these guys, now look at that. Abi Vishuvasam right behind Aaron Smith. Going to follow him in that BMW. I believe that's the only BMW in the field. He's going to try to see what he can do with Aaron Smith. So far, nothing yet, as Abi Vishuvasam is in fact the only BMW out here on track. Derek Sherman back there in P number 18. Not sure exactly what happened to him. I think he took an early pit. Carl Handwerk got a lot of damage on that right side. Wing is a little bit crooked there. He's going to go toe-to-toe with that number 72 of Caleb Collins in that Toy Story number 72. Usually he runs the Darrow Car Trip car from Cars, but tonight we're going Toy Story.
Oh, you're right. Abi is in the only BMW. I mean, he made every turn without using a signal. Sorry, that was a corny joke. Couldn't help.
Hey, it's all right, man. It's all about the booth, man. You gotta have a little bit of fun up here. You know, as it looks like Carl Hedwerk has caught Kevin Foster now. Kevin Foster just taking his time. He's not really a big road course racer. He's more of oval where he knows he can save tire and fuel. And then you got Chris Hamilton. Chris Hamilton has caught John Nobinger. He's not that far off, but he is far off. Like it's it's a little bit of a different game here. You got a 2 second gap between Hamilton and Nobinger, but then a 9 second gap between Nobinger and Aaron Smith. So Aaron Smith able to get away from the pack. So these top three have spread themselves out to a pretty decent margin. And then after Aaron Smith, it's just a gang of cars as Brandon Mettler back here trying to hold off Jimmy Covert. Jimmy Covert's going to try to get a good run coming out of that double right apex turn. Not able to get a good enough run to get alongside of the number 15, but able to keep him up where he needs to be. Jimmy Covert able to make the pass on Brandon Mettler. Now he's going to start working his way up to the number 70 machine of Aaron Smith. You heard Jimmy Covert say earlier in the race that he had a couple of tricks that he wasn't going to say to anybody. So definitely going to see what he can do to catch up to the number 70 machine. But Alex Carver right behind Brandon Mettler. Alex Carver's looking to get around him. He's got the speed, but can he do it without having any problems? He goes to the inside of Brandon Mettler. Brandon Mettler is going to give him the position and move Alex Carver from 6th to 5th as he still can't make the pass. There he goes. Now he makes the pass completely around him. And now we got Abhi Vishwasam and Dane Simpson right on the back of that number 15 machine. Going to see what these guys can do. And oh, we got a spin in the back. As it looks like the 053 of Jimmy Inslee ended up wrecking. So we're definitely going to look back here. Jimmy Inslee in that blue and yellow Corvette C8. He's going to get into the braking zone there and just goes a little bit wide. Taps, just barely hits the dirt with those left side tires and going to spin it around. I'm going to go ahead and take it back up here to the live scene as he didn't hit anything, no damage to the car whatsoever. So definitely a good time for these guys as Chris Hamilton has now dropped that lead from 2 seconds down to 1.2. And Chris Hamilton's going to try to get a little bit of laps led and see if he just can't hold off the hard charge for the number 70 machine. Chris Hamilton dropping it down to 1.1 seconds now. And I say within like a lap or two, you're going to see that 64 right on the back bumper of that number 44. But as you've seen, just before the camera angle switched, that number 70 is coming into picture. And you definitely don't want to see that big, bright yellow banana as Chris Hamilton is still trying to get around the number 44 of John Obinger. John Obinger is still setting his sights on this win, but he's got some hard competition to fight off as they are almost half about once they hit about 23 minutes it'll be about or 22 and a half minutes it'll be halfway done with this race. So definitely going to see what these guys can do here, see what Chris Hamilton can do. They do have to pit though, so that's definitely going to be something to pay attention to as they are coming up to halfway just in a couple of seconds. But look at that. Chris Hamilton is right on the back bumper of John Nobinger.
And all the while here, Aaron Smith is really closing up.
Yeah, that's with Aaron Smith. You know, he's kind of overdriving, but not overdriving, if that makes sense. And oh no, Nobinger almost goes around there, takes it off the track, but that's going to open up the door for Chris Hamilton as he's going to start pulling away. Going to go ahead. Oh, and Aaron Smith is down a pit road, so now we're going to see pit stops happening. Going to see what people do in the pit lane as Aaron Smith and John Crane were the only two takers for pit stops. But scrolling on back here, it looks like behind Dane, we have a good battle between Thaddeus Marshall and Abhi Vishwasam. Thaddeus Marshall is going to pretty much bulldoze his way through there, take that position from Abhi Vishwasam. And there it is, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Carl Handwerk has flashed his headlights to Abhi. It is real. Abhi gave him the spot. They don't call Carl headlight handwork for nothing. He does like to use those headlights when he possibly can. And right there, you've seen it here first. He flashed those headlights for Abhi, as Abhi just let Carl handwork go back all the way around. And now we're definitely going to see what Chris Hamilton does here. Does Chris Hamilton, he elects not to pit. So Chris Hamilton, he's going to stay out for another lap. But you're definitely going to wonder, how much do you want to stay out before you don't want to be out there anymore? So far, Chris Hamilton opening up that gap to 2.67 out, 2.7 seconds, almost 3 seconds on John Nobinger. So Chris Hamilton putting down some competitive lap times, but Aaron Smith putting down competitive lap times as well. So you're definitely going to see what this guy can do. As it looks, you can look at the track map for yourself. That I don't know what car to keep on top of, as there are cars everywhere on this track, and definitely going to put up some good racing, as Carl Handwerk has caught Thaddeus Marshall, but with that damage on the number 18, you wonder how much he's willing to push without losing any more ground than what he already has.
Yeah, and I think that's where strategy is definitely going to be coming into play here. But I'm no expert with strategy. You could give me the Ferrari F1 team's strategy, well, the Ferrari F1 team's strategist, and I'll just go with it.
Oh yeah, for sure. With road racing, I don't have any kind of strategy. I just recently got into road racing this year. Did a couple of endurance races. Core does do all the endurance races if it's the right car, right track. I know I did endurance races with Abhi Vishwasam at Daytona, and then I did it with Alex Gangler and John Crane at Bathurst, and then for Watkins Glen, it was me and John Crane ourselves. And then Sebring, it was me, Nick, and Jeff Burton. And me, Nick, and Jeff Burton were able to get the win at the 12 hours Sebring. And then we did the Watkins Glen. And then they just had another 24-hour race and Spa, which we did the Spa. And we took all 4 sessions to try to get that race in. And we just couldn't get it done. So not able to finish the 24-hour endurance race, as we have another good battle out here on track with the number 96 and 14. Them two are doing some good battles here, as it looks like Abhi Vishwasam goes into pit road. Or no, Carl Handwerk. Carl Handwerk goes into pit road, going to get that damage fixed. So Carl Handwerk's going to go into pit lane, get his damage fixed, come back out, and not be a lap down. So that's the only good part about having this bigger track, especially a road course. If you pit, you don't have to worry about uh not missing anything, as you know, Chris Hamilton is going down the long straight, and Carl Handwerk's already out of pit road, so the leader still has to pit. So you're not going to go a lap down, but you could possibly make up more positions as the leader has to hit pit road. so far. Jimmy Covert able to pull back away from Dane Simpson. And looking at the track map up here, it looks like Paul Butler and Caleb Collins, maybe? No, the 52 of Derek Sherman. They've caught themselves in a little bit of a battle there. Not too big of a battle, as Derek Sherman goes a little bit wide and was able to keep it out of the dirt. And now Paul Butler going to give him the spot here, going to let him go on by. He knows that he's faster. Paul knows that he has a little bit of damage on that front. So aero push may be a factor on that number 77 machine. Todd Cottle ended up just getting passed by the number 64 of Chris Hamilton, riding around in that number 25 machine, as he's just out here trying to make some laps count. And not looking too bad out there, as it looks like Dane Simpson is now under pressure from the number 87 of Thaddeus Marshall. And definitely going to see what these guys can do here, as they are 29 minutes out of 45 minutes. So we're definitely going to see what exactly can happen here. As I'm checking the score on the Bears game, and yep, we suck. We're getting beat 24-10 in the third quarter. Oof. Big oof. But still nothing. Do up.
You're a Bears fan?
Yes, sir, I am.
Well, just be glad you're not a Colts fan, because
Hey, at least my team scores some
I'm-
points. Nah, I'm just kidding. I can't talk about it. You know.
salt in the wound.
Yeah, just salt in the wound, just a little bit. I'm from Indiana. I don't like the Colts. They beat my Chicago Bears in the Super Bowl back in 2006, so gone. I don't like them. As Dane Simpson ended up going off track there, ended up keeping it off track, smacked the wall, and has heavy right side damage on that pink and blue Porsche. So big uh-oh from the number 96 machine. And that's going to allow Jimmy Covert to get around. And now Jimmy Covert back up to P number 3. And Thaddeus Marshall just got around Tim Thompson. Or Jimmy Inslee, I should say. Sorry about that. And back here, Patrick Cooney battling with the number 15. No, it's not the 15. I don't know who's in front of him. I don't know who that is. I believe it's the 19, maybe? It's not Jimmy Inslee. John Crane? No. Go ahead and go back to Patrick Cooney here. See exactly who that is. It might be Brandon Mettler? No, it's not Brandon Mettler. I wonder who that is. Tim Thompson? That is Tim Thompson battling right in front of Thaddeus Marshall here, and that's a good battle there. As no, Patrick Cooney. I apologize. He is in front of Patrick Cooney, as these guys are still looking to make it the distance. Aaron Smith making some passes up here. Got around Abhi Vishuvasam. Now he's going to start working on Thaddeus Marshall. He's got to catch up to Thaddeus Marshall first, though. Thaddeus has a 7-second gap between him and Aaron Smith. Thaddeus is also in the draft with Jimmy Covert. So these two are kind of working together, but kind of not working together. Obviously, you want to pass that guy in order to get your good enough run, but you also don't want to, just that way the guy in that number 70 machine doesn't catch you. As Jimmy Covert still leading the way over Jimmy Covert leading the way over Thaddeus Marshall, and then they got the number 079 of Alex Carver Robbins in front of him. And then just in front of them, around a couple of bends, is the number 64, as I believe He's the last car to pit other than Alex Carver, Jimmy Covert, and Thaddeus Marshall. So definitely going to see what these guys' strategies are. And maybe if they were being patient enough, maybe they kept their fuel load able to save enough fuel to where they don't have to pit. So that might be a little bit of tips and trick that Jimmy had. Not exactly sure, but so far only one caution. Anything can happen though. 33 minutes in, so just over 10 minutes left in this race. And 10 minutes can go by pretty quick if this thing goes green.
I have a feeling this thing's gonna go green the whole way. I mean, everyone seems to be driving real consistently and real safely, so I don't see a reason anyone would want to push it.
Yeah, but I mean, you still got the leader to pit. You still got a couple other people to pit, so you're definitely going to see who wants to be aggressive. I know me being me with my aggressiveness, I always want to be as aggressive as I possibly can be. And most of the time it kind of bites me in the rear, as you don't want to be aggressive to where it ruins your race, but you want to be aggressive to where you know you can make some passes. And I think that's what Aaron Smith is doing. He's just being aggressive but being clean as well. Hitting all the apexes just the right way, how he needs to. And it looks like Carl Handwerk not able to make it up some positions here, as Carl Handwerk is back up to P number 8. Abhi Vishwasam in 9th. Derek Sherman is almost one lap down, but I don't think Chris Hamilton will be able to get to him before Chris Hamilton has to pit. So that is going to be the saving grace to Derek Sherman there, as we are coming to 10 minutes left in this race. So 10 minutes left. Still able to have one more caution. If it were to fly, that could change absolutely everything. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that's what Chris Hamilton might be waiting on. Honestly, I mean, if something were to happen, you know, it could change a lot of stuff. As it looked like Thaddeus Marshall ended up wrecking here. Going to go back and look and see what happened with the number 87 machine. He got a little bit too high. He's done it before, and he's spun it out again. It gets right in front of the number 70 machine. 70 able to miss him. And look at that. The 14 is in pit lane along with the number 87 of Thaddeus Marshall. So now we're definitely going to see when the number 64 pits. And with 10 minutes left, it's possibly cutting it a little bit close, as these guys, he's going to end up coming out. Chris Hamilton's going to stay out another lap, and Jimmy Covert able to come out of pit road before Chris Hamilton comes by. And you can see there Chris Hamilton coming into the shot just before the camera switched. Going to go ahead and run along with John Nobinger, as he's got a little bit of competition from the number 18 of Carl Handwerk. Carl Handwerk able to keep it clean up to P number 6 as of right now, trying to pass for P number 5. He's going to dive to the inside of John Nobinger. He's going to have the run. John Nobinger's going to take it wide, almost into the grass. Going to keep it out of it. And Carl Handwerk is a man on a mission now. He wants Chris Hamilton to have a little bit of a mistake. He wants him to hurry up and pit, take a long pit stop, as these guys are doing everything they possibly can. And Aaron Smith still not really able to close down that gap between him and Alex Carver. So as it sits right now, Chris Hamilton, P number 1, Alex Carver in 2nd, Aaron Smith in 3rd, Brandon Mettler 4th, Carl Handwerk 5th, John Nobinger in 6th, Thaddeus Marshall in 7th, Jimmy Covert in 8th, Abhi Vishwavatham in 9th, and Derek Sherman rounding out your top 10, as Carl Handwerk just got a little bit too much of those curbs, ended up putting that front end up in the air just a little bit, able to keep it straight though, as Nobinger's tried to keep up with Carl Handwerk, not able to do so, and Chris Hamilton is in pit road this time by, and now Alex Carver, actually, yeah. So Chris Hamilton took only fuel. So there's a good strategy by the number 64. He's going to come out right in front of, it looks like, the one car of Patrick Cooney. And that could be a good shot there, as Alex Carver still has to pit. And we're going to see what Chris Hamilton can do. Can he catch up that gap? Just over 7 seconds. Can he close in that gap just before Carver goes into pit road? Or is he just going to be a sitting duck?
I'm just curious to see how them old tires are going to play out for his defense against Aaron Smith, because Smith looks like he's closing the gap pretty quick.
Yeah, Aaron Smith is closing that gap. It is down to 12 seconds. And then, Alex Carver in pit road. So give the lead back to Aaron Smith or Chris Hamilton. And then Carl Handwerk, whenever he comes around, will be your third place runner, as he has battled adversity, got back up to P number 3. So we're definitely going to see what this guy can do here. And it looks like that gap went from 12 down to 4. No, I'd say I can't remember exactly how far back he was from Chris Hamilton while he was running in P number 2. But you could definitely tell as Patrick Cooney goes off track right in front of the number 70 machine. And now there's no cars between Smith and Hamilton. So this is where your tire conservation comes into play. I know Chris Hamilton's really good at tire conservation. So we're definitely going to see what this guy can do, as we're coming down to 5 minutes left in the race. There's a 4-second gap. Can Carl Handwerk ended up dropping back to P number 5? Not sure exactly what happened to him, but Alex Carver still P3. As it looks like Kevin Foster or Paul Butler is in pit road this time by. As yeah, that's a table of unfortunate events for the number 18 machine. Was running really good. Now back down to P number 5. Still a good points night if he can keep it to 5th place. But so far, it is Chris Hamilton in first, Aaron Smith in second, and then Alex Carver in third. And it's definitely going to be a good run to the finish. Not sure exactly how it's going to play out, but Chris Hamilton able to keep the 4-second gap on the number 70 machine. Not able to pull away, not able to keep it close, as these guys are doing great battle here. We're going to go and jump back on with the number 14 machine, as he's got Abhi Vishwavatham, and it looked like Derek Sherman right behind him. So these three are kind of toe-to-toe. But Carl Handwerk is back with the number 44 of John Nobinger, trying to see what he can do. Can he get around Nobinger again, or is he just kind of stuck in the woods, as Nobinger goes a little bit wide, but so does Carl into the grass. Goes Carl Handwerk, able to keep it straight though. That's something that with these road course cars, you definitely want to keep your wheel as straight as possible while going through dirt or grass. You don't want to get on the brakes, because once you hit grass and you get on the brakes, it's going to upset the rear end of the car and it's going to spin you around. But Carl Handwerk knows about that kind of stuff, able to keep the wheel as straight as he possibly can. And now he's got to try to work his way back up to the number 44 machine of John Nobinger. And Alex Carver ended up spinning out through that double right-hander. And that's going to kind of play a pick for the number 44. What do they do? Do they do this? Like, do they end up... does John Nobinger use that number 079 as a pick, or does he just want them both to get around him? They won a top 3. They won a top 5. Alex Carver Robbins ended up spinning. So you're definitely going to see these guys battle pretty hard here as Carl Handwerk's still trying to get around John Nobinger. Able to keep it out of the dirt that time by 2 minutes remaining in this race. So there's probably 2 laps to go. And Carl Handwerk's doing whatever he possibly can. As the 64 just went off-road. Not sure exactly what happened there. But Christopher Hamilton has crashed. And you hate to see it. Watching the battle between all these guys and Chris Hamilton just barely caught the dirt. Spun it around. And that's going to give the lead to the number 70 machine. So Aaron Smith got the lead. And Chris Hamilton still P number 2 with Alex Carver in third. But you hate to see it as these guys are still doing battle back here. Carl Handwerk's going to get around the number 44 this time. Now he's got to set his sights on the number 079 machine. See if he just can't get to him and make a move. As Alex Carver ended up getting into the grass just a little bit. And definitely going to see what Carl Handwerk can do. He's trying to stay in the draft of that number 079. Not able to do so just yet. But with 1 minute left to go, actually, this is the final lap. That 2 minutes went by pretty darn quick as we have reached the time limit here. 45 minutes done or out and gone. Carl Handwerk's got to do something to get up to the number 079 machine. What can he do? What does he do? He's right on the back bumper. This is going to be an exciting last couple of quarters. Does Carl Handwerk try to dive it a little bit deeper than he wants to? He's going to be right up on the back bumper. He's going to get a good toe going into the kink. Going to run it to the inside. Alex Carver's going to take the defensive line here. Carl's got to do it on the outside. Alex Carver going to push him up high just a little bit. Carl able to stay there. He's got the inside where you want to be. And they touch. But Carl Handwerk's going to get the... Oh, he spins him. Looking like Harrison Burton in the truck race. John Nobinger ended up finishing P number 3. Carl Handwerk goes tumbling over the start-finish line. But Aaron Smith able to get the win. We're going to go ahead and take another look back here as that was an incredible move. It didn't end out how Carl Handwerk wanted it to, but he was trying to do it the cleanest way he possibly could. We'll go ahead and... Oh, I hit the live scene here. I'm going to go ahead and rewind that here as you get ready to watch. We're going to go ahead and go back. You see here, Carl Handwerk gets to the outside of Alex Carver. Not able to make the pass, but stays to his outside. And here's where he had the inside. Alex Carver dove it in just a little bit deeper. Carl Handwerk giving him a little bit of a bump. Alex and Carl make contact like Chase Elliott and John Hunter Nemechek. And John Nobinger ends up coming home away P number 3. And you hate to see it. So we're going to go ahead and bring up these final results here for you really quickly. Get these run down. Aaron Smith, P number 1. Chris Hamilton in second. John Obinger in third, Alex Carver in fourth, Carl Handwerk in fifth, Thaddeus Marshall in sixth, Brandon Metler in seventh, Jimmy Covert in eighth, Abhi Vishwasam in ninth, Dane Simpson in 10th, Derek Sherman in 11th, Patrick Cooney in 12th, Jimmy Ensley in 13th, Paul Butler in 14th, Todd Cottle in 15th, Tim Thompson in 16th, Caleb Collins in 17th, Kevin Foster in 18th, and rounding out your 19-car field will be the number 11 of Jonathan Crane. So we're going to go ahead and bring up the third place finisher of where's he at here? John, there he is. John, this is Dylan and Derek in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, how about
Cool.
that? A P number 3. You hate to see it how it ended, but a P3 is a P3. That's exactly what you needed in this tonight's race. But just tell me about the adversity from going from the 15-minute sprint to the 45-minute endurance race we've seen there in the sprint and the endurance. You kind of went off track a couple of times, but you weren't.
I
You,
put it once coming out of the last turn, got my first 1X, and then put the tire off going into that downhill left, and somehow managed to save it.
yeah.
So,
I mean, you were able to save it. Didn't have a space shuttle moment or anything like that, so that's always a good thing to have. But next week we go to a double points night. I believe it is. Oh, what is it? I believe it's Crandon in the Pro 4s, and then I don't know what else they're doing. Oh, Kokomo and the midgets. So how are you feeling about those two races?
well, I'm actually going on vacation on Thursday, so I might be using a laptop and a controller, and we'll see how bad that goes.
Well, I mean, Chris Hamilton used a controller last season, so I don't think it'll be that
with
bad.
the trucks and dirt, it wouldn't be as bad, I don't think. We'll see.
Yeah, that is true. I
But
mean, it.
I'll definitely have Aaron style graphics.
Yeah. We were making fun of his graphics earlier in the broadcast, but before we let you get on out of here, is there anybody want to give a special shout out to?
How about for Carl for putting on the league and handing me third?
All right, buddy. Well, hopefully we'll be able to see you next week and good, strong top 3 tonight.
Thank you, Dylan.
All right, go ahead, get our second place finisher in here. Chris.
I know.
This is Dylan and Derek in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, Bridesmaid lives again.
Yeah, it does. There's no one else but myself to blame for that one. I had a lapse of judgment, caught the grass, and lost it. I was all by myself.
Yeah. I mean, no harm, no foul. I mean, everybody tonight has lost it in that double right-hander. I know for a fact if I was out there, I would have lost it everywhere. So I'm kind of glad I got to be up in the booth and watching you guys do the battle. But when you pit, did you only take fuel?
Yes.
So the car was driving like a pig. Gotcha.
Yeah, GTEs you can get away with running like a whole hour on the same set of tires. The car didn't feel that different. If I'm honest, it was just like, okay, get back in the rhythm. One misjudged braking into the back section, and it was over. And that's how quick it can change.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
We go back to the drawing board and we try it again. There's those mistakes are gonna happen. I saw it in my relative that he was close, and it came down to mistake, and I made the mistake. Similar to what happened last season at Bathurst, except the roles were reversed.
yeah. I mean, you can be the best, the fastest, most conservative, and you lose focus just one time, and that's all it takes. I mean, me and you, like, let's say, Bristol asphalt. You know, if I made a mistake, you were right there for, taking the lead. Or same with Bristol Dirt. You knew how bad well, nobody knew how bad my graphics were that night until I shared my screen. But I knew if I gave you the high side, you'd get around me. It's just that one little bit of mess up, and you could have your race turn up all the way upside down. Granted, you did finish second. I finished second that night, so I guess I'm a little bit of a bridesmaid as well to you, obviously. But no.
Yeah, we'll add another one to the bridesmaid title. I don't know how many at this point. Carl probably has a count. I don't. I really don't want to keep count. Anyways, huge thank you for broadcasting this. Thanks to Ryan McCauley for painting all the time. He does some fantastic paints, and thank you to Vet Motorsports for being a part of this and coming on board of the season.
Oh yeah, well, I already know you're looking forward to Crandon next week. Or is it Crandon next week? I don't think it's
I believe
Crandon.
it's Crandon. Regardless, I think we're in the trucks, and I'm excited.
Yeah, see, Jumpy Trucks and Chris Hamilton makes you happy.
All right. Well, hopefully that's all dirt, so I won't be able to find a grass patch, or maybe I will, but we'll give it our best shot as always.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, Chris. Well, we're gonna go ahead and let you celebrate your bridesmaid victory yet again tonight, and hopefully we'll be hearing you again next week.
Yeah. Hopefully, guys, take care.
Take care.
Oh
buddy.
yeah. Hey, oh, my bad.
All right. Well, I'm gonna move the winner in here, and Derek, I think you should take the race winner and let my throat get a little bit recharged here. But Aaron, this Dylan and Derek in the booth get a copy.
Yeah, I've got you.
All right, Derek, go ahead and take it away.
Oh, well, all right. Well, before I get started with you, Aaron, if it's any consolation to Chris here, I would have long make the mistake he made. My eyes would have been glued to that relative. Don't know why. I probably would.
Yeah, he was running a really good race. He ran a much cleaner race than I did, but unfortunately, it just slipped up right at the last minute. Fortunately, I was able to capitalize. I almost followed him off the track, to be honest with you, but unfortunately, I was able to lock up the left front and keep around there.
Yeah, I know. I probably would have done the same thing. I finally got my mic. I finally got my mic working in the heat race. Are you sure you didn't equip your car with a Tomahawk missile engine? Because you were just gone.
I don't know what it is about that Ford GTE, but we were flying the whole night. Just, I'm glad I was able to just capitalize there at the very end. Had made a couple mistakes, but fortunately, it was quick enough to get me in second. But yeah, I just got lucky there.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know. I think you are pretty good at dirt road, and not the favorite going into the dirt race next week. As you know, Thaddeus Marshall is the dirt king of Core Racing League. He lets us know every week about how to run the car, run the track. But you got a double header next week. Are you going to try to go back to back to back, or are you just going to try to just be there at the end and get another podium?
I don't know if there's any hope for me at Kokomo, but at Crandon I should have a pretty good shot. Those trucks are a blast, and hopefully it'll be a pretty good race.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's always a good race, especially when I'm up here in the booth and I get to watch you guys do battle down there instead of me being out on track. I hopped up in the booth, and yeah, so it's definitely going to be fun watching you guys do battle next week. And before we let you get on out of here, Aaron, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone at the Core Racing League for putting the show on, y'all broadcasting, and everyone for watching. Looking forward to getting back at it next week in the doubleheader.
All right, Aaron. Well, hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week.
All right, thank you.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for the excuse me. That's going to wrap it up for the interviews, but catch us tomorrow as myself, Carl Handwerk, and Jimmy Covert will be in the cars in the GT3 and GT4 series. Not really sure what track we're doing. It's probably not a track that I really want to run, but I will be there. And we're going to give you a different perspective. You know, we're going to be out there on the track with these guys. We're going to show you a different side of us. And then Wednesday, we have ECRC, the 87s, as I am trying to get the championship over there. I am trailing just by a little bit over Sean Langton. Got his first win last week at Nashville Fairgrounds. We're at Dover this week. And then immediately following after, I will be in the booth. And Derek Booker, my co-host tonight, will be in the IndyCar doing 160 laps at Iowa. And then Thursday night, we will have the Core Racing League going to, I believe it is Indy, I believe, in the 87s, as Carl and Jimmy will bring you the booth on Thursday night. And then we'll be back here on Sunday with Crandon and Kokomo. So a big doubleheader next week. You don't want to miss out on anything. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, give a big thumbs up. Let us know how we're doing up here. Anything is possible, and hopefully we give you guys the best content that we possibly can. So make sure you guys take care and brush your hair.